Oh shit. Well, alright, we're back. So this is part 2 of my weekend score video, because this is the biggest weekend of scores of all times. And it is the swap meet edition. So part 1 was going to Breadwinner Cycles frame builder sale and buying a bunch of junk. Part 2 is I did the big swap meet on Saturday at the Rose City Food Park. And then Sunday I did the Sunday Salvage Sales, so I'm hoping we'll get both of those in. Tried to film a little bit there. I took some pictures of my truck, my storage unit loaded up, and my house loaded up. So I post on Instagram, be like, come to the swap meet, look at all this stuff I got. I got a lot of stuff. How did I get so much stuff? I just gave away a bike, or a truckload full of bikes and frames and wheels the other day. And then I went to the swap meet, and so I filmed this bit of video at the swap meet and setting up. I'm not sure how I'm going to overlay this. It's like a time-lapse video of me just pulling my tent out and setting up my stuff. If you watch really closely, you'll notice that ants and spiders are falling down from my pop tent because I didn't put it in the bag. I didn't keep it inside. I kept it outside. I gave it this nice green patina that matches my truck, which is fun. So that all set up. It then rained off and on all day, so I was really glad I brought it. I kept pulling my sun hat and then having to pull out my rain jacket and hat. I wandered around. I was trying not to buy too much stuff like you do, but everyone was there the same way. Everyone was just trying to get rid of stuff, which is good if you want stuff. It's bad if you have stuff and need to get rid of it. So I tried not to buy anything. I went and looked around at everything and didn't buy anything. BMX Gary showed up and he watched my stuff for me. He sold more of my stuff than I sold. I was like, I don't care any price. But I did get a few things. My friend Eric Reese brought this box. He's like, hey, do you want this set in front of your truck? Free stuff. And I was like, heck yeah, man. I went through it, and there's some more bags. I have a whole bag of bags. No one cares. Disc brake rotor, a water bottle, some tampon stuff. Mostly uncool, but there was this little hardware store bag in it. And this is exciting, and I was very, very stoked. So this is a bag of top tube cable clamp-on guides for old vintage, like 70s bikes. And there is one Campagnolo one, two Campagnolo ones, three Campagnolo ones, four Campagnolo ones, five Campagnolo ones, and one vintage French Hooray. And most of them have the screws, and there's a bunch of screws in the bottom here. It's probably all of them. It's a whole set of Campy plus a single Hooray and a single Campy. That's exciting. Those are worth like 30-40 bucks. A bunch of other junk no one cared about. I went over to Krishna's booth. He's the guy who puts on the swap meet. And I touched these brake levers. Like, here, just take them. Just have them. They're black. Old, like, 80s Diet Compy non-aero levers. I've never seen them in black before. They're not super scruffies. They have nice hoods. And he's like, I take these ones too, and gave me another set of these horrible white Diacomp levers that I have several extra hoods and several levers for, because I feel like you always find them. They're always broken or missing parts, so I have a bag of parts. I need to go through and make a couple lever sets. And then he has a set of 6-speed Shimano 105 shifters in really good shape. It looks like they have all the parts. He insists I take those too. I'm like, oh god. Somebody else, BMX Gary, grabbing this old stem. Some other old parts. Went to another guy's table, and I walked by it earlier. Walked by earlier, and had all these bins, and they're all open, and they are mostly headset spacers. They're kits. These kits are like $89 wholesale. These are, this one's 3/4 empty. It's 1/8 one. This one's more than half empty. There's a lot of used ones for inch. Here's another 1/8 one that's, more than half empty. Everything's also wet. You'll see at the end of this video, I took some footage of me after I packed up with water pouring off my tent. All my boxes are wet. All the packaging's wet. All the bags are wet. This one's both. Oh, and the case is broken. I want some really tall 1/8 stuff. So I'm going to downsize these. I have one of these already that have 2 full kits and a partial, and it's so overfull. I'll downsize these into 1/8 and 1 inch. Maybe do a new and a used. So I'll have 2 or 3 of these buckets. He also insisted, I had this too. This is Wheels Manufacturing chain ring spacers. So a bunch of different chainring bolt spacers. There's some wildly wide stuff, some small stuff. You barely ever use that. Some of them in here look like they're axle spacers, which I do use a lot of. So I was like, well, what do you want? And he's like, any deal, like $20. Like, oh, I'll take it. So all this stuff for $20. I mean, sets that spacers sell for $2 to $4 a piece at a bike shop. So it's hundreds of dollars of the spacers. You look at it like that. And Wheels Manufacturing stopped making the 1-inch ones, so I really do hoard every one I can get. He also had this one bin of cones. So Shimano compatible hub cones, those brand new cones. I never really mess with these kits because usually if the cones are bad in the hub, the bearings are bad, and the actual hub's a little ground on. If I said whatever, for free, I'll take them. Maybe someday they'll save me. And then I saw he had this sitting on the part of the table. It's like a mostly complete full bag of white index housing from Jaguar. And I said, how about $10? He said, sure. And then he had a big bin on the bottom. He wanted me to take the whole bin. I was like, I wish I had room, but I can't. But I dug through and I found a few things, and he charged me like $5 for all of this stuff. Like a shim for a front derailleur, a single Tektro cross top lever for a left, an old Shimano 600 tricolor front derailleur with not very much wear, and a band-on clamp for $31.8. A thing of Finish Line fiber grip for carbon fiber assembly gel, so you use this instead of grease to keep your stuff from slipping. So it's good for seat posts to slip, it's good for handlebars. An 1.125" front cable stop, and my favorite thing, a little teeny tiny bag with some pink cable narps and a few ferrules. So all that stuff. BMX Gary sat down at my truck and put out a bunch of his patches and stickers and shirts and stuff to try and sell. He mostly gave them away. He doesn't care. He likes to give them away. This is a new one he had. It is totally cool. It's like a Rat Fink kind of dude riding a BMX doing a jump. I grabbed it and put it in the back of my truck because it's super cool. Back window. And the guys next to me, some of the guys from Destroy Bikes, they were there. I was looking, and I guess they had a bunch of stuff from Bike Shop went out of business, and the guy didn't know what to do with it, and he gave it all away. And they had a bunch of stuff, so they're selling cheap. And they had this one Z6 KMC 6-speed chain. And I love KMC chains, and 6-speed's great. They're great for 3/32 single speed. They're great for 5, 6, 7 speed bikes. Like, they're totally cool. You can use them for 8-speed too, really. It's got like hollow plates. And he's like, you know what? Just take it. You can just have it. I'm just trying to get rid of stuff. Everyone's trying to get rid of stuff. So I only spent like $35 and got all of this junk. I found that Originate rack at the bins a time or two ago. I went, and BMX Gary sold that for $30 to a guy. So I basically covered all this stuff. And I had a few tools. A lot of them I bought at Salvage Sales for $10 a piece for the big ones, and I basically sold them for what I paid for them, about $10 a piece. One guy came back and bought tools like 3-4 times. A couple other guys bought a few little ones. So I really did, I think, less than $100, plus $10 for the space fee, plus all of this junk. So I probably walked out of there with $40 or $50. Probably only made about $10 or $12 in profit. So. But I got to drink a few beers and hang out with BMX Gary and talk to a bunch of bike nerds, and that was pretty fun. So that was the bike swap meet. It was definitely one of the smaller ones. And they go that way sometimes. Sometimes you go crazy and people go nuts and buy all your stuff. I mean, literally, I sold a couple of hand tools on one front rack, and I brought all of my wheels and frames. I just couldn't give them away. Someone tried to give me one of the dudes from Destroy tried to give me an old 80s red frame and put it with my stuff. And I moved it back against the wall. I'm like, I can't. I don't want to take it, man. Drove home. All the stuff's still in the back of my truck. I just put a tarp over it. I have camo tarp. Put it over it with a bunch of cargo net. I don't want to put it back in my storage unit. I think I'm going to have a garage sale this weekend. I'm going to post it on Craigslist and Facebook probably tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to do a ride with my friend. We're going to go out to the bins. He hasn't gone yet. And so we're going to ride bikes down there. I told BMX Gary to come, so he might. So tomorrow we'll go to the bins and buy some more crap. But I'm thinking this weekend I need a sale. I just need to go through some of this stuff and really get boxes out. I got half my clothes I don't fit, I don't wear. Got just so many bike. I need to have like 3 bike parts yard sales. The last one I had was good. I did in the front yard. Tons of people from all over town came. I did like $600 or $700 in sales because I was the only one selling, and everyone came to look, and it was pretty cool. So hopefully, I got rid of like half the junk I had. So hopefully, if I do 2 or 3 of those this summer before I have to move, I can really thin this stuff out. And BMX Gary got way more stuff at the swap meet than I did. And when people found out he was into BMX stuff, he bought a few things. People started giving him all their BMX stuff. He bought a backpack, and people gave him, at the end of the day, at the last 5 minutes, people were just giving away stuff. He's trying to clear it out. He got 2 or 3 BMX forks. He bought a couple of BMX forks. He got a new old stock rim. He got a tire as his favorite 29er tire. So that's riding 29ers around town and stuff, because they're kind of like big kid BMXs. He was given so much junk, so I ended up putting it in the cab of my truck for him and driving it home, and then put it into my station wagon to drive up to Sunday Salvage Sales. And people are like, "Why do you drive to Sunday Salvage Sales?" I'm like, "Because I get too much crap. I always drive." It's an inner city industrial ride. There's no good way of cutting north-south in this town. It's not a fun bike ride. It's all uphill and gross. And I get too much junk, and it's not like a fun swap meet where my bike can show it off. So I did that and met him there and gave him all the stuff. Salvage Sales did some insane stuff. So he's been wanting a Santa Cruz mountain bike for years. And today they're like, "Hey, we got 2 bikes in the back for you. Not even putting out for anybody else. We're saving them for you." And they brought out 2 donated Santa Cruz mountain bikes, probably 10 or 20 years old. They're disc brake. They're Dior XT. They look like that 9 or 10 speed era stuff. And they sold it to him for very cheap. Like usually bikes sell the shells like $35. This one for $100 a piece, which is an insane deal. And he was so stoked. He was just riding that high. He was so excited. He's like, "I'm going home. I'm pumping up the tires. I'm taking these out for rides. I'm gonna ride around the neighborhood a bunch. I want one of these forever." He's got like 4 other old mountain bikes he bought that aren't like Treks or whatever. He just sort of plays with them, but I think he's so excited about these Santa Cruz bikes from this era. So we got those. I dug around. I got a little bit of stuff in my bag. I got a little bit of stuff from the free box. I'll show it off. They had one crappy old Peugeot that no one wanted to buy. It's got 80s Peugeot. It was junk. But it had a single speed wheel set on. I'm like, "Hey, can I just buy the wheels and not have to take the rest of the bike? That's all I want." So I said sure. So I dug around the tool bin. And I found a 5/8 wrench. Couldn't find a 15, but a 5/8 is pretty close. A little loose. These bolts are loose. I think these are black. They're almost kind of like a grayish, bluish pewter anno on the hubs. The rims are still black. They have like no brake wear. I only spun them in my hands, but they look pretty round and true. We won't really know till I get into the stand. The bearings don't feel too tight. I know I have too many wheels trying to get rid of them, but I like single speed wheels. I'm going to build single speeds. I got this carbon fiber Specialized in the back of my truck. Road bike, and it only fits 23s, and it's my size, and I was thinking about building it. I'm using all the parts I was going to put on it to put on the Paramount frame. So I'm thinking is maybe I'll build it with these wheels. I know I got some black single speed cranks. Maybe I'll make a fixie out of it, even though it's got the wrong kind of dropouts. You can't respace the frame. I think it's 126. So I think I'll go through this kit of chainring bolt spacers and find the axle spacers, and I bet I can find 3mm for the spacers for each side. Pop these outer nuts on, put 3mm spacers on each side, and then this wheel will be 126 and steel dish correctly. On the last video, my friend Anthony came over and we fixed up his Fuji, and one of his friends was trying to help him, and they pulled off one nut and put like a 10mm spacer on, so his 120 single speed wheel was like almost 130, and then the dish was way off. So I'm like, no, we opened it up, put the correct spacers in, tightened it back down. I pinched the frame and aligned the dropouts like I do for single speeds for them. So that's probably what I'll do the opposite on this. I'll make this thing 126 and put it in that frame. I think it's got vertical dropouts, which can be a real pain. You have to find a magic gear ratio to do that. I guess I'll show it in the video how to magic gear your bike, because you can't tension the chain at all. You can't pull the wheel back to tension the chain, so you got to find the exact right cog and chain ring size that magically with the chain make it slide right up. And you do. You put it in like a 1642 and you're like, "Oh, the chain's super saggy." Like, "Cool, put a 17 on." The chain's tight. You're like, "Okay." So maybe I'll do something like that. But hopefully I'm going to put these in the wheel trimming stand after this, and I'll see if they're any good. Hopefully they are. After the salvage sales, Gary showed me the Santa Cruz bikes. He put them in the back of his minivan. And I saw some wheels, like, hey, those are like road wheels. Those are not BMX. Like, oh yeah, you want them? He's like out of storage room for him, so we put him in his van. He's like, I'm afraid someone's gonna break my window. They are, he said they're American Classics. I don't know, American Classic usually has logos. I don't see logos. I don't know if these are really American Classics. The skewers definitely look like the American Classic skewers. But they're ultralight, black seal bearing hubs that do not feel that smooth. I mean, it's rolling. They have a weird spring-loaded axle. I thought it had a bunch of play at first, but it's just an axle cap that sits onto loosely. The quick lace holds it in. So the black quick lace is the dog bones. They're DT Swiss slotted spokes, and they're laced to black rims that say Essos Pat P Swiss-made tubular rims. So that's not fun for me. I'll put them on eBay and see if anyone cares. It's a freewheel. I haven't measured it yet. That looks big. It might be 130 spaced. It's got the skewer, the dog bone. These freewheel threads are a little gross. So I'm going to take a bottom bracket lock ring and run them over it to make sure everything threads on fine is nice and there's no problems before I sell it. Also got the slotted spokes with the straight laced on one side and the two crossed on the other, like ultralight racy stuff does. I was like, okay, I'll take them. Whatever. Maybe they're fun. He's like, yeah, just trade me BMX stuff in the future for him. He also has this brand new set of green tubular tires that he got. This extra challenge that he got for these wheels. I'm like, I'm not going to glue tubulars, but I'll put them up for sale, see if anyone cares. I've got a couple new old stock tubulars at the bins and put them up on eBay and gotten 20 or 30 bucks for them. People are into them. The first thing I did went to the free box. I found a couple things in the free box, including another one of these 13, 15 little wrenches that might be cone wrenches, but are a little thick for that. So yeah, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help this either. So this is another set of pretty skinny VO fenders, probably for like 725s. And they're real scruffy, but I got another set that's a little bigger last week. But the stays were kind of bad. I didn't have the hardware. This has what looks like all the hardware. And the stays aren't scruffy or missing. So between the two, maybe we can make them fit a bike. Otherwise, yeah, VO sells the stays and blah, blah, blah. I have the free box. Like, I've sold hundreds of sets of VO fenders and installed hundreds of sets of VO fenders over the years. I don't know. I got a soft spot for them. And the first thing I saw, I looked in the bars. There wasn't anything cool. And I saw these. I didn't even measure them yet to make sure they're not bent. But they're a bar I've never seen before. They're probably from the 90s. They have the 80s logo. It's Nitto. But it says Ladies 105. Never seen that before. And they're 37 centimeters. Nitto Ladies 105. So weird. So cool. I'll put them on eBay. No one will care. Give them away at the swap meet. And then I only got this one little box of stuff. I did find another Velo Orange water bottle cage. That's pretty cool. This one doesn't have the back tang. I like the back tang better. And it's got the pinchy things. This is like their first style. And these ones are kind of a problem because you can get things caught in them all the time, but it's easier to make them tight or loose on your bottle. I started looking around and I was like, wait, I gotta go to my red bin. There's one new red bin. It's like a flatware bin. They throw all the good new stuff in. So went to the red bin. What did I find? Physique bar tape. I think, yeah, it's brand new. Brand new white Physique bar tape in the box. Another set of Physique bar tape with the plugs, and I think this is brand new in the box too. It doesn't have the writing on, but Physique used to be popular. I know I got a white Physique saddle from them recently there. I'm gonna do the white fixed gear build. Maybe I'll be getting drop bars. I got this weird little box, cartridge, recharge, something about a gift. I have no idea what it is. Oh, it's a rear light bracket that like rubber bands on. I think I grabbed it early for a rubber band clamp. A lot of fenders use these clamps too. That's cool. Little rubber bandy clampy thing. One WTB 10-speed, M10-speed mountain bike shifter that's all loosey-goosey. I don't know if it's just loose or if it's missing parts or broken. But I think this is, micro shift. Yeah, micro shift 10-speed MTB. I'm pretty sure Mountain 10 is the same pole as Road 10. I'm pretty sure. I think it's 11-speed that gets weird. So maybe I can save this, or I can pull it off and put it on a thumbing pod. I don't know. Micro Shift, what's your deal, bro? Nice black bar end. I don't know. For, the cost of the weight. There is also this bag in there with a bunch of brand new. I didn't even look to see if they're stainless or not. Hopefully they are. Looks like one brand new shift cable and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flat bar style brake cables. Tight. I did just sell on eBay. I've got a few of these Electra things forever ago. I just sold one on eBay yesterday. So I grabbed 2 more. They're almost out. I grabbed one more cream, one more brown. The other one sat up there for months, but someone gives me $25 for it and it cost me $1. It's cool. Went through the shifter bin and then one boring 8-speed trigger shifter. I have a dozen of these. I don't need any more, but I do like using them for builds. So I grabbed it. I grabbed one kind of short stem with a small 25-4 clamp, because that last bike I freaked out for a second. I thought its faceplate might be too wide with the riser bars on that Manage Your Expectations tune-up. I went and looked at my stems and didn't have anything like this. I would have swapped this on if I would have had it. So I bought it for next time. I'm missing one more thing. Maybe it's still in the back of my car, or maybe I never brought it. I did buy this hub. It's just some generic, cheap, heavy hub. I don't know if I care, but it's got this big knurled lock nut on the end, and I have those nice Surly single-speed hubs, and it's missing one of these. I didn't want to put a regular one on. This one, I think, looks more like it. The other side is not the same. There's 2 of these. If I like it and it fits that Surly, I might go buy the other one of these and pay, the $2 or $3 for it and just steal that so I have matching lock nuts on the end of that Surly track hub. I'm crazy. There's one pretty nice, pretty matching set of, road pole Tektro. They're not sticky. They're not worn at all. Tektro brake levers. I grabbed another bar that had another set of these on there. It's hopefully in the back of my car. I don't like these. They're too big. They're based on the campy hood shape. They're just too big for my hands. But people like them. These are real clean. I'll use them on the build or sell them on eBay, and I'll probably get $15, $20. And I grabbed this one set of weird disc brakes. Hayes CX Expert. So probably some cyclocrossy disc brakes. They even have the pads in them. I don't know if they're any good. My friend's got hydraulic disc brakes. They're always losing fluid, and it sucks, and it drives him nuts on his 29er single speed. He likes to go ride with his dog. His dog can just run. And they can go ride. So we're talking about converting it over to cable, but you don't want to spend much money. So maybe this will be the right thing. And I just need to get some V-brake handles, which I probably have some brake levers in there. And then we can switch his bike to cable actuated and get rid of the dumb hydraulic stuff that everyone thinks they love, even though it just causes them nothing but problems and is always leaking. And then you take it to the shop, and half the shops in town won't bleed them. The other half the shops don't have the right bleed kit or missing old little parts because no one stocks anything. So that was my scores, other than this other handlebar with those levers somewhere. Oh, and my friend Avery, the doctor, who doing this disc brake, that's his trail bike for his dog, and then he has a carbon fiber fat bike, so from Minneapolis, and he loves, and it's to only ride it if it snows. And then he's got a Soma disc double cross. It's a 62. I think it's the biggest size they make. It's way too small for him. And he's got dynamo hub and fenders and fat tires and all this stuff. It's a commuter bike, but it's boring to always ride, and it's real nice. It's boring to always ride that, and it's too nice. He doesn't want to leave it locked up, so we've been talking about building him a bike for a while. And I got some vintagey frames, but he's weirded out by them because they're too old and there's no to work on them, and they're all too small. So I asked the salvage sales day, I'm like, hey, do you have any giant frames? I'm looking for a giant frame for my teledoctor friend. And he's like, yeah, we have this one around the corner, and he showed me this Trek hybrid. It's $40. It's all dirty and gross, and it's a boring aluminum hybrid, and it's not cool and exciting. But it upgraded to a Dior rear derailleur, upgraded to Avid V-brakes, no wear at all on the rims. This bike looks brand new. Somebody bought it, put some money into it. rode it like twice around the cul-de-sac. You know, people do that and just put it in the garage. And I'm going to get around to commuting and never do. So $40 for a bike that's essentially brand new. I'm going to wash it and probably lube it. You know, do a few fiddly adjustments. I'm hoping everything else on it is as tits as it looks, and it's super nice. It's 25 inch, it's like 63.5, but it's got a sloping top tube, so it's really going to fit more like a 65 with the head tube and bars. I think we can do that with some cruiser bars or some riser bars. It's got like an ugly, cheapo Acera 8-speed 3x8 cranks and brake shifters, so do cruiser bar. I'm kind of thinking cooler crank, 1x, and I got a Dior single like 9-speed shifter, the Dior derailleur on it's a 9. So I'm not sure if the cassette's a 9 or not. I have to get him a 9-speed cassette. But you know, it can fit kind of fatter tires, it can fit fenders, you can ride it without that stuff, so you can make it like a summertime sort of fast city bike, and then which is what I want, something not a lot of money into. You can leave locked up places, not have to worry too much about getting stolen. They did also have a black dynamo wheel hanging up in the shop, and they sold me their silver one they had hanging up. I talked them down to $100. I had them throw another wheel in. It was nothing special back wheel, it kind of matched. So we've been talking to that, maybe put it on this, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. So I bought it for him. We'll see if he likes it tomorrow. We're going to go on a bike ride to the bins together, so he'll come over. And if he does, he can start riding it as is, or we can trick it out. He wants something with cruiser bars, big front basket, like a real city bike thing. And that'll be super fun. So not a lot of stuff, but enough stuff. And $40 for this Trek aluminum hybrid thing, which is an insane deal, and especially in mint condition. And then he's like, "Oh, how much all the other stuff?" He didn't have the weight thing out to weigh it, and I go, "How about $50 for everything?" As a joke. I really thought he was going, "Ugh," because he usually charges $10 a piece for the wheels. I thought he might even charge me 20 or 30 because that's the only good part on the whole bike, and I got everything but the rest of the bike. And he goes, "Yeah, sure, 50, whatever. It's easier." He's like, "I'm just not caring anymore." And stuff sits around. I'm like, "Told ya." I looked at him like, "You're turning more and more into Carl every day, dude," and I love it. He's like, "Oh," I'm like, "I mean that as a compliment. Like, Carl knows how to make stuff get out of here." Others just sits around with big price tags on it. Everyone's like, "It's supposed to be $2 a pound. I don't want to pay $30 for some scruffy crank set." And it sits around for months in the way, and he finally just gets sick of it and throws it in the metal recycling. So he's happy to get rid of some stuff. He got so many donations. They had a giant Fuji. They had a 69 centimeter Fuji in there. 69 centimeter seat tube, 59 centimeter top tube. So really stubby for a bike that big. And everyone was looking at it, and people wanted to buy it. I thought it might be good for my friend, even though it's way too big. It was converted to a single speed in a really not good way. And it looked like both seat stay caps were cracking. So I was like, no, and talked my friend out of not buying it. And we were looking at it. Somebody put some modern Shimano V-brake levers on, which I told them, like, I want these levers if you guys decide to break this down because this frame's broken. And it had a Nitto stem, and it had like a nicer Sagino seat post, like a ladies Sagino seat post. I'm like, I'll take the stem, the seat post, these brake levers if you break it down. It had some kind of newer Panracer Pasela 27-inch tires. I'm like, I'll take those too. So maybe I'll score all that stuff next week. But $50. $35 at the swap meet, plus the $10 entry fee, plus the $20 I spent on beers, $50 the old CCC, and $315 at Breadwinner on Friday. But this is my weekly scores so far, and then I'm going to buy a mechanic's full stash of bike hoard on Wednesday for $500. I gotta drive my truck over there for it. Oh, I can probably get it all in my station wagon. I still have everything else in the truck, and I don't want to take it out. $500. So that's my biggest week of scores ever. And who knows what I'll find? Maybe I'll find something cool at the bins, cool bike stuff at the bins tomorrow. I haven't really been checking Craigslist and Facebook, and I've missed a lot of stuff people have been telling me about. So, who knows? Oh, I did have a heartbreaking moment. I had a heartbreaking moment. My friend Graham showed up, and I was like, hey, our friend Patrick has his frame building stuff in Graham's garage for storage for years and years and years, and I was bugging Patrick the other day. We were talking. He's like, yeah, I'll sell you my alignment table. That's what I want. It's Brunelli's C-channel alignment. You can't get them anywhere for any money. Brunelli has one that's selling me brand new for $300, but he's too old. He can't build a box. He's not willing to ship it. I put a bunch of posts out on Instagram, see if anyone, anywhere near him I can pay to go do it. No one got back to me at all. It's like, yeah, I'll sell it to you. Let me double check it's all there. And I saw Graham like, hey, do you guys ever pull out Patrick's frame building stuff? Like, can I come get that alignment table? And he goes, oh, he sold it. I'm like, what? What do you mean? He's like, oh, yeah, he told one of his friends that he was going to sell that to you, and then the friend wanted all the frame building stuff. It's kind of an all or nothing deal, so we just sold it to him, and then never bothered to tell me. It was really heartbreaking. I was like, Patrick, you did me dirty. How could you guys not tell me that? You knew I wanted it. The only reason we got it out is because I was asking. So that was pretty sad. I was a little crushed. I've done the homie hookup for Patrick so many times. So that was that. I'm crushed. I do not have a line on C-channel alignment table anymore. If anyone has a line on one of these and is willing to get it to me, if it's close to Portland, I can pick it up, or is willing to, wrap it in 5 layers of cardboard and a tarp and some duct tape and take it to UPS and pay $100 for shipping, which I'd gladly cover. Let me know. I want it, especially if it's got the fork block on it. We're doing the fork, the whipping post, and the fork block. That's all I really care about. Let me know. I am looking. And just for fun, here's the little track. 25 inches, 63.5 centimeters, and all its really dusty, dirty glory. There's the bone trigger bars with the other set of Tector levers. It's pretty stock. 63.5, ugly 8-speed, whatever, cranks, front derailleur, but upgraded to a dual rear derailleur. Upgraded to Avid single-digit 3 decent V-brakes. No rim wear whatsoever. Brand new looking 8-speed cassette. It's the cleanest thing on the bike, the chain of cassette. Very dusty, very crusty, so dirty. Minty, minty, minty condition. A little cleaning, a little lubing. The tires look brand new. I think that might be a upgraded bar, but I'm not sure. Crowbar, 5-degree bond. It's so boring. I think this would be way cooler than the cruiser bar. I got a black cruiser bar too. Oh, in 25.4. Oh, let's swap it on without messing with anything else. Oh, look at these little guys. That's pretty cute. Regular V-brake levers, a single thumbie. Taking these cranks off. I think I might have some black 175 like fixie cranks that we could do like a single 39 tooth rig on or something. It'd be pretty dope, or leave it as is so you didn't care. But that's a real nice bike for $40. I mean, geez, if he doesn't want it, I'm gonna give it a bath and a tune up and do zero else to it, and put it up for $500, and I bet I'll get it. I bet this is $699 new, I'm sure. Hybrid-y thing. I don't know. Probably get 3 at least. Lol. Here's the rest of my stuff still in the truck. Unmoving, unwavering, wet. Hopefully drying back here. Oh, so much stuff. But anyways, that's my video. Here's a little bit I took the very end when everything was packed up, and thanks for watching. This is the real truth of the swap meet. All the water pouring out of your stuff. Everything is soaked and wrecked.
Dude, this thing cooled water.
Yeah, sun comes out right at the very end if everything's packed.